Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. Well, first off, I just want to say Happy New Year. I hope you, my listeners, had a wonderful time with New Year, celebrating New Year's with your loved ones. And let's see what the year of 2026 brings, ladies and gentlemen, because it's been last year, 2025, it's for everybody, including me and my family. We're going through a rough patch where, like, right now, everything is being settled down, and something major happened. Something is happening in the coming weeks between me and my family. So I will keep you posted. But once again, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Happy 2026. Let's see what this year hopefully brings something much better for everybody. I wish I could say peace in the world, but obviously that's not going to happen right now. Look what happened right now in the first week of 2026. Well, it's official. The United States has invaded Venezuela, and they've removed and arrested President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. They were taken into custody. They were brought here back to the United States to face trial. And you know what? I swear to you, what the actual fuck is actually happening right now? I'm sorry for reacting this way because look, I've always been anti-war. I don't like war. But there's always been like this thing. War always brings money, you know. So the reason I say is because look right now, Trump did this. A lot of people are saying it's an illegal invasion that he did. He removed, but everything what he did is fucking illegal, you know. And yet somehow people like the MAGAs right now, they're all praising Trump as a hero and all that stuff, and the Republicans were actually for it. I don't know. Every time I hear this guy running his mouth, saying all this stupid shit, like he's doing all this stuff, he acts like if he's doing the world a huge favor. And all the stuff that he's doing right now, honestly, it just really fucking pisses me off, honestly. All the things that he's like right now, he's like, he just wants to, like, he just invaded Venezuela. And like, yet somehow, this is the same guy. Think about this for 1 second. Let's go back in time. This is the same guy who was a vocal critic of another so-called president, George W. Bush, when he invaded Iraq in 2003. And he went on Wolf Blitzer back in 2007. Look it up on YouTube, or if you can even find it, that is. You can only find bits and pieces of it. But the entire interview, I don't know if you can find it on Daily Motion also. But that's where in 2007, Trump did an interview with Wolf Blitzer, and he was very, very critical of George W. Bush's invasion of Iraq. He even at that time was praising Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. I'm no fan of Nancy Pelosi though, but he was actually doing like a lot of praises and saying that why did Bush invaded Iraq? That was coming from the mouth of Trump. He would say, why did we invade Iraq? For supposedly weapons of mass destruction, it was never real. And he even mentioned in the interview that how come they didn't push for crimes against humanity against Bush? And he even mentioned that they wanted to impeach President Clinton for something that was totally ridiculous. That's something for once. I'm just going to say this. I agree with Trump. Why they wanted to impeach President Bill Clinton just because he got his dick sucked for something. He said they wanted to impeach President Clinton for something that was totally ridiculous. And that's actually for a later episode. The Republicans at that time, they wanted to impeach President Bill Clinton just because he had with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. I was just a kid at that time, but now as I got older, I read books about that. They even like Trump has done worse things. But the Republicans were all like, oh, they just brushed it, like they just swept it under the rug. Republicans, even at that time when they wanted to impeach President Bill Clinton, they knew what President Clinton did was not an impeachable offense. It wasn't. But yet somehow, they just wanted to dance to it, They all voted for it, Famous Republicans who voted for it, like fucking that stupid piece of shit, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, John Ashcroft, who else? Like, the whole like circle of all that little circle jerk of Republicans voted to impeach President Bill Clinton. There were a few notable exceptions. What is that old lady's name? Susan Collins from Maine. She voted no on both. How many charges? But she voted no for not to impeach President Bill Clinton. I think it was another senator from Alaska, I believe. I forget his name, but he voted yes to impeach him, and the other one was no to put the criminal charge against him. But in terms of Democrats, all of them voted no to impeach. What's his name? President Bill Clinton. The ones I do remember, like if I remember from the list, just like a bunch of them. Like for example, John Kerry, he was a senator, and I think he was right now for President Obama, or even also future President Joe Biden voted no to impeach President Bill Clinton. Yet somehow they wanted to. Like, it's just like I'll never forget that. And that was just, the people will say, President Bill, the Republicans were saying that, they were all saying that, President Bill Clinton did an abuse of power. Even that little pathetic little cocksucker, ass kiss, Lindsey Graham. Oh my God. I will talk about the impeachment. And he was saying impeachment is the cleansing of the White House. Those are the exact words of Lindsey Graham, people. And look right now what he's doing with fucking Trump. Like being like a little lapdog, praising him, it's just like this, like the way he's that's like Trump's lapdog. He's like praising him, and yet him and John McCain were like the biggest critics of Trump, and now he's like praising him, all the things that he's doing. That he's just like a little pathetic little lapdog. And after what he did to Venezuela, and this is Iraq 2.0. Look, I will say this. I've seen other podcasters say this. I will say this. Yes, I am happy for the people of Venezuela, but at the same time, why did the United States invade it like that, How come they didn't get the approval of Congress? But the Republicans, they were dancing too. They were all for it, But just imagine, people. Just imagine this. Imagine if President Obama or even President Joe Biden would have done any of this. Oh my God. The Republicans would be up in arms. They wanted to say, what he's doing is illegal. They should have impeached him. There's all this stuff. But when it comes to Trump, I'm like, he's the best president. And all people, I remember on Twitter, all these little pathetic little lapdogs of Trump, like that little pathetic little bald Jew named Stephen, that little racist cocksucker named Stephen Miller, saying that if the United States voted for Vice President Harris in power, that she would have started a war. And look what this dude is doing right now. He just started a war with Venezuela. He invaded Venezuela illegally. But yet somehow he's saying that's okay. Typical, And even Lindsey Graham, let me see if I can find this video of Lindsey Graham praising next to Trump. Give me 1 second. It's just that every time I see this little pathetic little rodent, even what's his name, President Obama, was super critical of Lindsey Graham. He calls him like a little weasel. Let me see if I can find it. There he is.
We had Venezuela, we have Cuba, we have Colombia in our backyard. And these three countries have been condemned ever since I've been in politics. Joe Biden put a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head. Chris Smith, today he got inaugurated, said, I hope Trump will hold Maduro's feet to the fire. You did. So what has he done? He's going to clear our backyard of a drug caliphate, countries run by narco-terrorist dictators who murder, rape, send drugs into our country to kill thousands of our citizens. To my Democratic friends, you should be celebrating this. When bin Laden went down, I was the first to applaud President Obama. This was one of the most sophisticated military operations in the history of the country. What they were able to do was amazing. They knew we were coming. We had a good part of the Navy, and they were able to capture this man alive. No military in the world could have done it. And as to this commander-in-chief, he did something people talked about doing. You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wake up one day, I hope in 26, in our backyard, we're going to have allies in these countries doing business with America, not narco-terrorist dictators killing Americans. This is a big frigging day. And everybody in the world is thinking differently than they were just a few days ago because of what you did.
Typical little, give me some cum, give me some Trump cum. That pathetic little weasel was like, you see, he was like, and then Trump was looking at his, I think he even kind of looked at him bad when this dude was he was praising President Obama when they captured and killed bin Laden, and he was just looking at like, why is he praising this guy? But like right now, when the same thing he is doing with when he captured President Maduro, and they have he so desperately hates and wants to be like President Obama, because they show the famous picture of how when they captured President Obama and that same time Secretary of State former First Lady Hillary Clinton and all these people that work with him. Look at the picture of what happened with bin Laden, and like right now the Trump is trying to do the same thing with when they captured President Maduro. And you know what though? It's just like, I don't know. Like he hates Obama so much, but yet he tries to be like him. To me, he's just like a little pathetic little man. He has like, Trump has like the vocabulary of an 8-year-old kid who doesn't speak clearly. And it's funny. I was talking to one of my loved ones, and how it's funny how this dude likes to poke fun at President Joe Biden because of his slur speech, saying that even his followers are saying that President Biden was senile and all that stuff, all these horrible things. Yet somehow Trump is doing this exact same thing. He's like sleeping in all these meetings and all that stuff, but yet somehow the MAGAs are they're all fucking quiet about that. And yet somehow Trump wants to run for 2020. Like, I don't know, I know his cronies want to twist and change the Constitution to run for a third term. Who knows, he's going to be fucking alive by then, Nobody and Trump is like so ingrained of being like, he wants to stay in power. He's doing all these things just to change because he believes he's going to stay beyond 2028, and like you even hear that little pathetic little weasel is threatening Cuba. He's threatening Colombia. He's even, there's even rumors that he's also threatening the country of Mexico. Why Mexico? Just because they don't agree with him? They don't agree with it? Like he's right now, Trump, here we go again with the whole thing of Greenland. Like, why the fuck does he want Greenland for? It doesn't belong to the United States. Yeah, somehow he can use the United States military to go invade and take over Greenland, but he forgets somehow that Greenland does not, it belongs to Denmark. And if you fuck around with Denmark, NATO is going to butt in, And even like countries like China, they're all fucking pissed off about what the United States did to Venezuela. And even China is like threatening with military action. And that's something, I would not like to piss off China, It's just crazy. Sorry about that sound, you people, because of that. I just got a mess. I don't understand why they had this. I mean, this shit right now. And it's funny that Trump also pardoned I don't even know from what country. I think it was like from Nicaragua or Honduras, that he pardoned this guy who trafficked cocaine in this country a lot. Let me see if I could find him. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. This is on MS. It says here, look, after Venezuela operation, Trump haunted by his pardon by Honduran drug trafficker. It says here that 2 Latin American strongmen were charged with drug trafficking. One was captured as part of the military raid. The other is free thanks to a Trump pardon. It says here that this is on January 5th. On Saturday afternoon, J.D. Vance seemed particularly eager to defend Donald Trump's decision to launch an offensive in Venezuela and capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. In fact, the vice president specifically emphasized that the fact that Maduro was formally charged by U.S. prosecutors with drug trafficking. And this is a little bitch says, and I quote, "You don't get to avoid justice for drug trafficking in the United States," unquote, because you live in Palace in Caracas. Perhaps not, although apparently you do get to avoid justice for drug trafficking in the United States if you're in a foreign head of state with ties to members of the inner circle. But yet somehow Trump pardoned the Honduran president, which he did something much worse. It says here that the Trump administration is facing increased scrutiny for his recent pardon of former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez after charging Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro with drug trafficking. It says here that Maduro is now facing charges in New York, including narco-terrorism conspiracy. And you know what's funny? What's her name? This is the one that really baffled me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, as we all know, who was before a Trump sycophant. She was like the biggest cheerleader for Trump. That she even took a picture of, on her Twitter page, and she even took a picture, it's like, you know, trying to like impress, smiling, like kind of like a mugshot picture. And now, since she is leaving, she's become like somewhat of more of a vocal critic of Trump. And you know, it's funny. Now, right now, the United States military is surrounding Venezuela, and we all know. Everyone knows this is just a distraction from the Epstein files, but in reality, why did the United States invade Venezuela? Supposedly to arrest Nicolas Maduro for narco-terrorism and all that stuff, and like I said, with the Honduran president. It's just a distraction. What's the reason why they wanted to invade Venezuela? What does Venezuela have? Oil. That's the reason why. And here's a video of Marjorie Taylor Greene doing an interview with, this is MSNBC, by the way. Okay, here we go.
Not defending Maduro, and of course I'm happy for the people of Venezuela to be liberated, but Americans celebrated the liberation of the Iraqi people after Saddam Hussein. They celebrated the liberation of the Libyan people after Gaddafi, and this is the same Washington playbook that we are so sick and tired of, that doesn't serve the American people, but actually serves the big corporations, the banks, and the oil executives. And so my pushback here is on the Trump administration that campaigned on Make America Great Again, that we thought was putting America first. I want to see domestic policy be the priority that helps Americans afford life after 4 disastrous years of the Biden administration. I want to see domestic policies that prioritizes jobs and affordable housing for Americans after 4 disastrous years of the Biden administration. And I want to see domestic priorities that put Americans first in regards of health care. Health insurance costs too much, car insurance, home insurance. And these are issues that matter to Americans. We don't consider Venezuela our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is right here in the 50 United States, not in the Southern Hemisphere.
Y'all heard that. That's coming from the horse's mouth. But yeah, you know, she's still throwing shade at the Biden administration. But right now, why the fuck do we care about Venezuela? Trump ran that he was going to make affordable everything again. That's not fucking true. Everything is still going up. Life in the United States is expensive right now. It's not just California, because I live here in Southern California. Everywhere. Everything is expensive. Gasoline is still expensive. Food is still expensive. Inflation is up. And Trump went on. He actually went on his still. I don't understand why Trump still goes on fucking rallies saying that inflation is all a hoax. Trump lives like in this little fantasy world in his fucking head. That I swear, every time he runs his mouth, he just needs to shut the fuck up for once, you know? He just needs to shut the fuck up about that. And this is the video right here of him doing a full speech. And I pardon to my audience, it's going to be long, but this is the coming from the horse's mouth when he invaded in Venezuela. This is Trump right here.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, it's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that even if you just look at the boats. You know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans. Hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to ultimately New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm talking like this. I'm all stuffed up.
And human destruction all over the country, all over in particular the United States. Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide.
Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck are you talking about, you senile old fool? Seriously, dude, what the fuck are you saying, man?
And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police.
Dude, are you listening to yourself? Seriously, are you listening to yourself, man? Oh, good Lord, man. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck are you saying? You sound like that, like when they were accusing of people, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. You're doing the exact same thing, motherfucker.
They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now.
This guy right here has the vocabulary of a little kid. Honestly. The fuck is he saying? You can even tell that that little pathetic little Cuban troll, Marco, or as I call him, Narco Rubio. He's just like bowing down on his head. He doesn't get a pass for me. Fuck all these people right here. Including that little drunk pig headset or head dick. That's what he is here. Pig head dick. Another, and you know it's funny how Charlie Kirk used to talk about DEI and stuff, especially about black people and Latino Americans. Pig headset or head dick is a perfect example of DEI, but yet Charlie Kirk did not say shit about that. You know?
And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We have...
Dude, there's crime everywhere. Shut the fuck up. Or as this guy says.
Shut up! We had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat, but we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have 2.
Are you listening to yourself, old man?
On average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're walking their daughters. They're walking their children, their wives. They walk to...
This dude right here, what the fuck, man? Like... He's like one of the biggest narcissists on this mudball called Earth. Restaurants
are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military, and I want to thank law enforcement. Been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called, great person, and he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana, and we have done that. And it was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already.
Dude, this is about the fucking strike. What the fuck are you talking about? Other states here, Tennessee, Washington, D.C., Louisiana. Dude, stay on the fucking topic.
Already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost.
Look! On the video right here. This is in fucking Mar-a-Lago. You can see that peak head dick looking down, and even Narco Rubio was like looking down. And when Trump looks behind, they put their head up. Because this dude's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Stay on the fucking topic.
Almost nothing. And we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why.
You could tell that little fucking dickhead, even that little dickhead, Stephen Miller is looking like, what the fuck? I don't know who this other little cocksucker is. He's just like, what the fuck is Trump saying, dude? Stay on the fucking topic.
Governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago, and crime went down. Help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there when they need us. We'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it. And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on.
Dude, shut the fuck up about that. You did not save Los Angeles, bitch.
Where the head of the police department...
Dude, shut up. You did not save Los Angeles, bitch. Nobody likes you here. Yes, there's a little group of people who love you. Fine. They have that's their right, it's their choice. But you did not save Los Angeles, motherfucker.
A statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. What? That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
But we did a great job in...
Dude, shut the fuck up.
...various cities. But
you did not save Los Angeles, bitch.
The place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities.
Dude, just stay on the fucking topic. Just shut the fuck up.
In the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua. And they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people, and now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela.
If you want to talk about being threatened, an American citizen, it's our own people here. How come he doesn't say anything about that, you know?
There will no longer be threats. For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives...
You know what? I've had enough. I don't want to listen to this fucking old fool talk about rambling and all that stuff. You know, it's funny how Trump was delivering that fucking rambling mess. The fuck was he talking about, people? And here comes Narco Rubio here talking about he mentions Cuba. He says here that Rubio says Cuban leaders should be concerned after the United States takes down Maduro. And you know, it's funny how they mentioned that. Like, look, this is this little pathetic little fuck talking about this right here. This is courtesy of Forbes breaking news, people.
I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and then.
For him to say that, he should take a good look at Trump right there. That's another senile old fool right there.
And in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look.
He did not just fucking say that,
Look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Are you cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's an example.
It's funny how Trump is doing all this stuff, and he's also threatening Colombia and all that stuff. You know how Trump has invaded Venezuela? And, I just found out something right here. This is so pathetic from him, Let me see. Did you know that Trump becomes the first president, the so-called president, because he is, I didn't vote for him, so fuck him. I don't care. I don't care what people say. He has become the first president to bomb 8 countries in 1 year. The first one is Iran, Iraq, Nigeria, Palestine, Somalia, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. It's funny that all Trump is doing all this stuff to President Maduro, and this is another thing that really bothers me. How come they don't do this? Give this a listen.
There is a brutal, illegitimate dictator, but that does not give President Trump a free pass for illegal action. This wasn't about liberating the Venezuelan people. Trump's refusal to back Nobel Prize winner Maria Machado, Maduro's brave liberal opponent, shows Trump has no interest in Venezuelan democracy. This is about Trump believing he can grab anything he wants and get away with it, this time oil. We know what happens when an American president launches an illegal war under the pretext of an imminent threat. It's why we oppose the Iraq war and why we condemn Trump today. National sovereignty matters. International law matters. Without them, the world is far more dangerous and we are all less safe. Anyone who thinks Trump's actions will make China or Russia think twice is either hopelessly desperate or desperately naive. Putin will be using this precedent to strengthen their hands in Ukraine and Taiwan. And Madam Deputy Speaker, anyone who thinks Trump will stop with Venezuela hasn't read his new national security strategy. He's already threatening Colombia, Cuba and Greenland and even democracies across Europe. Does the Foreign Secretary not realise how ridiculous it looks to refuse to call this what it is, a clear breach of international law? Will she at least publish all the advice the government has received on the legality of Trump's actions? There is.
Y'all heard that, right? This is a labor right now. It's just like right now, he mentions like right now he's threatening Greenland right now, like to take over. Like, what is this dude's obsession with Greenland? And it's funny how there's another thing right here. The president who was democratically elected, Maria Corina Machado, says that this pathetic fat fuck said this. Trump would have supported Machado if she didn't accept the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh my fucking God, people. What is it with this guy's obsession with the Nobel Peace Prize? He did not win it. Get it over with, Trump. You did not win the prize. Why are you so fucking obsessed with that? And I'll bet dollars to donuts that you're still pissed off that on the first year of President Obama, he got the Nobel Peace Prize. And yet that fucking hurts your ego. Why are you obsessed? Okay, look, you won 2016. Okay. You won 2024. Why? And you're still bitching about not winning the 2020 election. You still says it's illegitimate. Like, dude, just shut the fuck up with that. Shut up! Dude, right now you're still bitching about the Nobel Peace Prize. God fucking mighty. You did not win it. Get over it. You're fucking president, right? The so-called president in my eyes. You won 2024. Why are you still obsessed with that? God, oh my God. You're doing all this fucking shit just to distract people from the Epstein files. Everyone knows you're in that shit. Yet somehow you only mention people you don't fucking like. This is just a fucking other distraction. I don't know, like right now, 2025 was not like you did all those blanket parts, and you also right now you're trying to change January 6th right now, that you're trying to rewrite history because you're in power right now. All your fucking cronies are in power right now. But rest assured, dude, rest fucking assured that come November 2026, things are going to change right now. Because right now, everything what's going on right now in Washington, the whole issue with ICE right now, that's another thing for a future episode right now. I'm fucking going to talk shit about you, your little fucking Gestapo group. You run by you and that bald fuck Stephen Miller and that plastic Barbie bitch, Christy Noam, whatever the fuck her name is. I don't give a fuck. I call her Plastic Barbie because that's what she is. But come November 2026, this year, you fat fuck, I got the midterms. Democrats are gonna sweep this shit. You fucking watch. You fucking watch, Trump. Because like right now, all the shit that you're doing right now, all distraction. And you know it's funny. I did not want to say this, but the United States has a history of, and it's always with Republican presidents. Like, for example, in the Americas, 1953, fucking Eisenhower removed democratically elected President Jacobo Arbenz of Guatemala. Also Nixon invaded and removed democratically elected President Salvador Allende of Chile and installed the biggest killer of all time, Augusto Pinochet. Like all the invasions of the Americas, the United States has done, it's always done by Republican presidents. And it's like right now, the United States is like, it's flexing its power. It's flexing, like right now, I'm sorry, like right now, the United States, it's always been like right now with this dude in power, it's flexing, it's like an imperialistic country right now. I'm sorry. I love the United States. I love my country. But I'm just saying the reality of it. The United States right now is like all the people, including like the people who support, like I would like to say to the MAGAs, think about this for 1 second. All you guys are spewing all the stuff that America first, they should invade countries, they should bomb, and they're all starting wars. All of you are the recipients of an imperialist tradition. Let's be honest, people. And I don't know what's going to happen right now with President Maduro. It's just this is a fucking disaster. I'm sorry. I don't support any fucking war, and Trump wants to start another war because war brings money. But does he want to start World War III? And judging by what he wants to do with Greenland, it's anything is possible. And do I support it? Fuck no. I'm against all wars. I was just a little kid when the first Iraqi war started, but I was scared of it. Did I support the invasion of Afghanistan under the Bush administration? Did I support the invasion of Afghanistan? That could be up to debate, but no. Did I support the second invasion of Iraqi war? No. Why? Because of oil, and also because everyone knows that Bush had an agenda against Saddam Hussein, because Saddam Hussein tried to kill his daddy when Bush went to go visit Iraq, and Saddam Hussein tried to get him killed. It's just fucking ridiculous, you know. I don't know what the future holds right now with Venezuela, what's going to happen. All I can say is please the people of Venezuela. If people are cheering for that right now, it's just okay. That's their choice. But do I support the illegal invasion that the United States did? No, I didn't. But like I said, people who voice it, we're just a minority. We're just expressing our opinion. If people don't like my opinion, I'm sorry, then kiss my ass. You know, I'm just saying what I feel. So that about wraps up for this week's episode. For my episode of this week's podcast. So keep an eye on my Instagram on Blue Sky, and I will post up what's going to be the future for my next week's episode. Keep an eye out for them. I just wanted to say thank you for listening, and once again, Happy New Year, and have a great day, guys. Thank you for listening.